It's not my fault. I need to have when I hear this. You understand? Because when you hear this, if you don't want to just then I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Because this, the death. Just listen. Just listen.
Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to you all. Judge Wise, I do want to start with you. We've talked some about Girls Inc. this morning, and I know that you had said in response to Senator Lee that the statement he was referring was sent out or on the website of the national organization and not Alameda County. So I went to Alameda County, and their website says, and I'm quoting, girls refers to gender expansive youth. Cis girls, trans girls, non-binary youth, gender non-conforming youth, gender queer youth, and any girl identified youth, end quote. So since you were a member of that group for years and supported them, is it fair to assume that that is also your definition of girl?
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
And I apologize. I certainly didn't mean to misspeak when it came to what Senator Lee had asked. I'm not familiar with those statements, and I've never
familiar with Alameda County, and that's what I'm asking for your response. Is your definition of girl the same as Alameda County has on their website, their Girls Inc. website?
I have not thought about a definition of girl in that way before. So I don't think those are the words that I would
of girl and woman. What's your definition?
I think certainly as I was raised, and I have believed that generally speaking, for nearly all of us, the sex that we are assigned at birth by the doctor is what we are, and it's. Okay. I think that applies appropriately to the majority.
Let me move on because I want to talk to you about the group's stance on Title IX. And in 2022, the National Girls Inc. organization sent a letter to Secretary Cardona urging him to issue rules regarding sex equity in athletics, including transgender students' participation in school sports, so that student athletes are protected from discrimination. And I'm quoting that from the letter. So do you agree that the Department of Education should issue a rule on sex equity for student athletes?
I have no opinion about that, Senator Blackburn.
Okay, well,
I will say I don't ascribe to the particular statements that you were saying. I have not read them, I have not seen them, and it's not something that I would advocate. And as a sitting judge who hears, I have more than 15,000 cases on my docket right now. These types of issues potentially could come before me.
Of course they're going to come before you, and it's important to know where you stand, and it's important to know Title IX is under.
The fact that this is going on. There's men going into women prisons. There's boys competing against girls right now. Why is it so hard for her?
Attack. And we have witnessed that. And I represent Tennessee. I hear from women. I hear from female athletes all the time about their concerns on that. So is there ever a situation in which it's appropriate for a biological male to compete in women's sporting events? Because you say you believe our sex is what it is assigned at birth. So should a biological male be allowed to compete against a biological female?
Again, Senator Blackburn, I don't have a personal opinion about that because I think those things are regulated by sporting agencies and organizations. I really don't. I sincerely have no
Right.
view about that.
Okay, let's talk about your Think Outside the Prison article that you wrote in 2021. It was published in the Daily Journal. You made some interesting contentions in that article, and I want to ask you about those. You said, and I'm quoting, over the last decade, judges have had fewer practical or effective options for the placement of individuals who regularly find themselves mired in the criminal justice system. End quote. When you say, and I'm quoting again, find themselves mired in the criminal justice system, that seems to suggest that individuals who have committed criminal acts have simply ended up in the criminal justice system by happenstance rather than as a direct result of their actions. So do you think individuals who have committed violent crime, that they deserve to face consequences for those actions?
Answer.
Senator Blackburn, I don't think that you were here earlier when I spoke, but even when I gave my opening
Why is it
remarks,
so hard?
No, I was watching.
I'm actually
So
very glad that
weird.
you asked me that, because I absolutely believe that people need to take responsibility for their personal actions and that we need to hold people accountable for violating the law. The safety and security of our country, I think, is deeply rooted in that.
What would push you to do an article like Think Outside the Prison?
Sure,
May I respond?
of course.
That article specifically was focused on because there has been bipartisan support, I think, to reduce the number of people who are incarcerated, and judges have a lot of people who come through the system repeatedly who are mentally ill or drug addicted, and it was raising the issue that it was very important that judges either needed to have people who have committed crimes. They need to either be able to go to prison where there's a place to put them, or they have to be able to go to a facility for treatment or mental health. And if none of those are available, we have some serious consequences, I think, for our communities, including homelessness.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Blackburn. That completes the question.
It's ironic that you say that. There's a whole lot of illegals, not nonsense. I don't want to get in trouble, but a whole lot of people that ain't supposed to be here. You know what I mean? And your party just keep letting them in. And these answers. No. Can't even believe this. How did all these smart people get here?